Lord to clean. It's like a movie when we hit the scene. Sometimes it's like I woke up from a dream, cause they tried to check us, but we with the king. We walk in the light, boxed in, but we still kicking with champions taught in this fight. You sold your soul, it's gonna cost you a price, cause you chillin' with snakes till you caught and they bite. The truth like math, we multiply daily, but to the word we never add. Minus the bull, we get the last laugh. You counted us out, now we in our bag. We in the building, turn the world upside down, now we moonwalking on the ceiling. Going H, seeing out appealing. We in the building, you in your feelings. We be the light in the darkness, we be the salt of the earth. We about to get it regardless. We out here putting in work, cause we in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We be the light in the darkness. We be the salt of the earth. We about to get it regardless. We out here putting in work, cause we in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building.
We outside, gon' run it high. Powers everywhere, don't remember the tribes. Swallow your pride, accept you loser. The day coming soon, we gon' face our accuser. We in the building, we in the fields, we in the trenches, we don't kneel. We gon' stand, y'all keep the gaze. We won't lands, ain't shit gon' change. How you gon' feel when the sky get dark and it ain't no solar eclipse? Just a bunch of chariots coming down, destroyed every soul, put us on the ships. Raised in the truth by spiritual fathers. Faith alone, no miracle guide us. All we got is a word providers. If you ever looking for a sin, you can't find us.
We be the light in the darkness. We be the salt of the earth. We about to get it regardless. We out here putting in work, cause we in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We be the light in the darkness. We be the salt of the earth. We about to get it regardless. We out here putting in work, cause we in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in this building like we be managing properties, like we was playing Monopoly. It ain't no stopping me. He just be panicking probably cause he's sorry. No apology cause I'm just different. Name on their way like a sumo. Authentic, these niggas be pops like a kudos. They keeping the law but they fake all them pseudo. We pulling their partners say uno but we yelling skipper. Bring that heat for the cause, y'all leak with the gauze cause heat full of bark like a tree or a dog. Get a leash for them all. We read that book. These seats like a pause. Be up, keep down if you see what we saw. If you keeping the law then the heat of the fall. G-O-D got me grieving the wall. We the light of the earth. We can see it at all. We be the light in the darkness. We be the salt of the earth. We about to get it regardless. We out here putting in work, cause we in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We be the light in the darkness. We be the salt of the earth. We about to get it regardless. We out here putting in work, cause we in the building. We in the building. We in the building. We in the building.
We in this building like spiritual bricks. All white garments and we don't sell scripts. Warfare money and we taking no tips. Big shit popping in the spiritual whip. Seated this city and our feet got blisters. Either Microsoft like the Windows Vista. They go bow down when we walk through the street. Turn like the dust of our top G feet. Call Digging Lava finna drop the hammer. Don't ain't where they can't pick up these stamps. We got the vision so put down your phone. Our power greater than infinity stones. Yeah, hit the Sabbath. Bishop. It's even to even. Them goons is gone. Yeah.
You are now live.
We the sons of God. We don't back down. I take it to your face. I tell you right now. Step up to the count. We ain't back
to dumb it down on this one.
Step up to the camp, I tell you right
Ain't never ran from a challenge, I don't plan on running now. Pastor stand against the prophets, we gon' have to sit them down. Big goofy, he a clown, see right through him. Ultrasound, tried to stop us like a rumor, but the word got around. He don't like the way we sound when we bring it out. We be crying way too loud when we bring it out. It's the doctrine, they don't like us if we do it. It's a problem, we just hit a plant the seed. He won't increase, God got him. For the tribe, for the freedom, I ain't hungry, I won't eat him. Tried to move us from our camp spot, but tell him shit to meet him. Rising up the sons of God, had to tell him it ain't Easter. Brother put away his pride and I ain't coming with it either. Put our problems to the side just to focus on the enemy. Give them hell online, but in person, same energy. The truth is going up, it ain't luck, don't call us black now. Like the lead ain't never changed, they know the prophets never back down.
We the sons of God, we don't back down. I'll take it to your face, I tell you right now. Step up to the camp, we ain't backing down. Step up to the camp, I tell you right now. We the sons of God, we don't backing down. Take it to your face, I tell you right now. Step up to the camp, we ain't backing down. Step up to the camp, I tell you right now.
We ain't never backing down, we in your hood every day. Them prophets are rave, or the word of God on display. Them demons get slayed, cut them, yeah, them scriptures for late. Tell your pastor we outside, we give a damn what he say. Cause every time we get to prophesying, yeah, you know them angels get to activating on the Sabbath day, steady congregating on the sidelines, looking irritated, never elevating to the understanding of the most how to do this work. See nothing over here has been abbreviated, you can tell by the chief conversation like, oh, yeah, I know, yeah, we waiting on that whoa, yeah, I know. Other nations that destroyed us got to go, yeah, that's for sure. Black Messiah, woolly hairs, light as snow. You ain't know, nice stroke. Take the trump about the blow. That's that walk the walk.
I talk the talk like Debo, I'm a bully. Like 70 saying my family band with precepts when I'm bully. Christ heart is white and woolly. His skin like polished brass. I got this heat and mad, these precepts cut like solid glass. Go get a body bag, I done left this heat and soul gone. Now we the beat timers, everybody get your roll on. Gold crown, gold thrones, rulership, soul long. Chariots on corner, everybody get your flow. Your kingdom, yeah, we taking it, we breaking it, your matrix. Cast down imaginations, then we leaving out it crazy rich. Who you think you're playing with? Your unbelieving atheists. We the sons of God, we know for prophesying, blazing it. From LA to Memphis, New York City to the A-town. We taking down your city, earthquaking when we break ground. One day we gon' be hunting, have you running like a greyhound. Our playground is the earth and all you heathen gon' get shaken down.
We the sons of God, we don't back down. I'll take it to your face, I tell you right now. Step up to the camp, we ain't backing down. Step up to the camp, I tell you right now. We the sons of God, we don't backing down. Take it to your face, I tell you right now. Step up to the camp, we ain't backing down. Step up to the camp, I tell you right now.
Shalom, shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless. I'm Captain Gad. You are tuned in to the
Natives Hour, home of the 10 tribes.
I'm Captain Gad to my right.
Officer
To
Dunn.
his right.
Soldier Yokanan.
To his, my left.
Officer Jair.
To his left.
Officer Jonah.
To his left.
Officer Asadai.
You are tuned in to the Natives Hour. Hey, tonight we're going to get right to it because we got a lot to get to. All right. Pull up the thumbnail. Pull up the thumbnail, if you don't mind.
Bring it out.
Okay, Can somebody read that thumbnail?
American Indian Movement and the Wounded Knee.
The American Indian Movement and the Wounded Knee. All right. So we're going to go over the AIM movement, what inspired the AIM movement, all the way up to the Wounded Knee. For those that don't know, last week was the 27th, the memorial of the Wounded Knee,
right,
and the atrocities that happened on the Pine Ridge Reservation to the Lakota tribe and the FBI.
That happened like 52 years ago?
Yep, 52 years ago. Yep. And they still marching. They still trying to keep it alive. But as those that were there, y'all see it is dying out.
Right. The elders are dying out, and the younger kids that's coming along now, they're not even.
They don't care.
They don't have that.
Yeah.
That fire like their elders had.
I mean, one thing that we spoke about was the whole reservation should have been out there.
Right. It wasn't even 5% of them.
Nah, the majority of the people out there was from other states.
Right.
Damn. The whole reservation should have been out there to support that. So we gonna get into it. Give me Deuteronomy 18 real quick. We're gonna get into it. I know we sound low, but it sound good on the. You sure? All right, because I'm not feeling it right now. Just sounds low. Deuteronomy, what I say?
18.
I'm sorry, Deuteronomy. Deuteronomy 8 and 18. Sorry, Deuteronomy chapter 8 and start at verse 17.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8 and verse 17.
Bring it out.
And thou say in thine heart, my power and the might of mine hand hath gotten me this wealth.
That's what we say in our heart, that our power and our hand has got us the wealth we have. Read on.
But thou shalt remember the Lord thy God.
That's what the Lord tells us to do. Remember him. Remember our power. Remember where we get our wealth from. Read on.
For it is he that giveth thee power
It is what?
It is he.
It is the Lord
that giveth thee power to get wealth.
Go ahead.
That he may establish his covenant.
That he may establish his covenant.
Which he sware unto thy fathers.
Unto thy fathers. Whose fathers? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. Your fathers is who the Lord established that covenant with. The Lord tells us to remember. Read.
As it is this day.
Go ahead.
And it shall be, if thou do at all forget
If we do what?
Forget the Lord thy God.
That's what we've done. We have forgotten our Lord. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, and we understand this show is mainly about the northern kingdom of Israel. But we all forgot our God. When you ask the Native American Indians, the Lakota, on the Pine Ridge Reservation, who their God is, they're going to say, damn Father Moon, Uncle Sky, Uncle Bear, Cousin Rock,
Brother Tree.
You know, Auntie Bison. That's what they're going to say.
Right.
That's what they're going to say. And then when we come up to them and tell them, well, actually, your God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's only one God. Right. Now it's an issue. Now it's a problem. Hey, you saw Bishop. First of all, shout out to the bishops, the deacons of Israel United in Christ.
That's right.
The most wisest men on the face of the planet by far.
Right.
Not even a question. But when you read Bishop's book, you read about the events that goes on in the midst of traveling. That those back home at the ranch don't necessarily understand that when we travel, we put our lives on the line.
Right.
We put our lives. People don't know that there was gunfire everywhere.
Right.
See, I didn't tell nobody that. See, we don't tell our wives that.
Right.
We don't tell that it was gunfire, bullets going across our heads.
Semi-automatics,
AK-47s, HKs, and all types of scars, military-grade weapons out there while we was watching.
Yeah.
You understand? We had a brother. Remember, we had a brother. Cat was there. We had a brother come up to us and ask us, Who's your leader? Who's your leader? We like, hey, well, here we go. Here it is. This is what we've been waiting on. You understand? Then Cap walked with him. We trying to walk with him. He said, no, we don't want y'all to talk. We want to talk to him. I mean, I'll praise to the Most High that the Lord was with Cap to speak good words and make them what's what I'm looking for? Pacify their anger. Yeah. Because they didn't want us there. And then the Lord put the spirit on one of the elders to say, look at my black brothers, my dark brothers. We're glad you're here. So only one elder said that.
Right.
Out of all the elders. Everybody else like, what y'all niggas doing here?
Right. He had to remind them that the Black Panther Party stood with them in the 70s.
Mm-hmm. And we going to go over that.
They were for each other.
Absolutely.
And they've forgotten about that.
They forgot about that. They don't understand that it was done strategically. Is that a word?
Yes. Strategically.
Did I say
yes,
that right?
sir. You got
It was
right.
done strategic. See, now I done jacked it up now. It was done that way and that purpose to keep Northern Kingdom and Southern Kingdom from joining together.
Right.
The white man lied to Southern Kingdom about Northern Kingdom, and they lied to Northern Kingdom about Southern Kingdom. Damn. But in these last days, they're going to see that we are the same people.
That's right.
We are the exact. And you know what's crazy? Captain Abiel is not even Southern Kingdom.
Right.
He's Northern Kingdom.
Right.
I'm not even Southern Kingdom. But they see us, they see color. They see, nah, you all are niggas together.
Right. That's that thing, that color thing will throw you off quick because I met one of the guys we were talking to, and his father was actually Esau.
Oh, yes.
That color thing could trick you, you know. So they think just because they may have that look, or you're lighter or darker,
they got that Native American lingo, Lakota.
Right. And another thing, you know, a lot of times our Native American brothers like to bring up the Buffalo Soldiers when they see black brothers on the reservation, but they rarely bring up the fact that if you had Negro features, they would label you as Negro. They wouldn't even label you as Indian. So meaning like Cap, you just said, we the same people. That's a history they don't go into.
And there was a lot of $5 out there. Don't get it twisted. Bring it out. There was a lot of, I'm going to tell you, the majority of their leadership is $5 Indians.
Right.
Maybe like 80% of their elders are $5 Indians. It's the truth. It is what it is. All right. Finish that.
Deuteronomy chapter 8 and verse 19. Mm-hmm. And it shall be, if thou do it all, forget the Lord thy God.
So the Lord said, we forget him. Come on.
And walk after other gods.
What do we do?
Walk after other gods.
That's what we've done. We walked after other gods. Come on.
And serve them.
And serve them.
And worship them.
And worship them.
I testify against you
Watch
this day that ye shall surely perish.
The Lord say, if you do these are stipulations.
Right.
If you do these things, you are going to die. You are going to perish. Read on.
As the nations which the Lord destroyeth before your face.
The Lord says, as the nations that were destroyed, watch this.
Before your face.
Come on.
So shall ye perish.
So, man, swallow your spit, man. Read it right.
Golly.
This brother, golly, like a damn camel, man. You got like just water just stored in your cheeks. What the hell is going on over there? Come on, read it right, man.
As the nations which the Lord destroyeth before your face.
Come on.
So shall ye perish.
So shall ye perish.
Because ye would not be obedient unto the voice of the Lord your God.
Because we are not obedient. We are not obedient. So what do? We perish. Because of disobedience to the Lord our God. All right? You going to say something?
Yes, sir. If I want to bring out a strip, give me Isaiah chapter 51, verse 20. Because that's heavy what you're saying, Kev. We are perished because we have not obeyed the voice of the Lord. Let's read that.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 51 and verse 20.
Bring it out.
Thy sons have fainted.
Thy sons have fainted, meaning we are weakened. We are unconscious. We are asleep. Read.
They lie at the head of all the streets as wild bulls in the net.
As wild bulls in the nets, as cattle in the net. What happens when you catch a cattle, when you got a cattle trap in a net? You're dinner. All right? You set up to be slaughtered. And that's what's happening. That's what we seen, like on that reservation, that their mindset is weapons. And it's clear that you're no match for this man government, and that's not the way to go. Read.
They are full of the fury of the Lord.
The fury of the Lord is the curses of the Lord, the punishment of the Lord. That's why we're in the condition that we're in right now. That's why we're on those reservations. Gad, that's why we're marching every year in memory of the Wounded Knee, or what happened, the slaughtering of our people at Wounded Knee. Read.
The rebuke of thy God.
That's the rebuke of the Lord. Read.
Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine.
That's why you got to hear the voice of the Lord. The prophets are sent to the reservations for you to wake up and see that you got to turn from your ways. You got to turn from the cow god. You got to turn from the gods of what is it?
The sky, the rock.
The sky, the rock, the moon, Mother Earth, and all that. And come back to these commandments.
Hey, get that in 2nd Ezra 13. 2nd Ezra 13. Show them how the so-called Native Indians got to this side of the land. 2nd Ezra 13 and verse 40.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 40.
Oh, you know what? Start up. We're going to go through it, then we're going to get through these videos. Dang, I want to go through this. We ain't got time. Verse 40.
Bring it out.
Verse 40.
Come on.
Those are the 10 tribes.
Those are the 10 tribes.
Which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hosea the king, whom Salmanassar, the king of Assyria, led away captive. And he carried them over the waters. And so came they into another land.
And y'all should be researching these history, these facts. The year 520, approximately 530, 529 BC. This is the history that it's talking about. Read on.
But they took this counsel amongst themselves.
Go ahead.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
It says they took this counsel amongst themselves. Read it again.
But they took this counsel amongst themselves.
Go ahead.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
And go forth into a further country where never mankind dwells.
Hold that. Deuteronomy 33. We're going to go back and forth. Deuteronomy 33. And I want you to read verse 17.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33 and verse 17.
13. Start at verse 13.
Verse 13.
Bring it out.
And of Joseph he said.
Joseph is talking about Ephraim, the northern kingdom. Go ahead.
Blessed of the Lord be his land.
Go ahead.
For the precious things of heaven, for the dew, him he shall push the people together.
With them he shall push the people together. Go ahead.
To the ends of the earth.
To the ends of the earth. That's talking about 2nd Ezra 13 and verse 40. 41. Go back. It said Ephraim will gather the people, talk about the northern kingdom of Israel, and push them to the end of the earth. Go back. 2nd Ezra 13 and 41 again.
2nd Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 41.
Bring it out.
But they took this counsel amongst themselves.
This is the same prophecy we just read in Deuteronomy 33. They took the counsel, go ahead.
That they would leave the multitude of the heathen.
They would leave the multitude of the heathen.
And go forth into a further country.
We just read that. To the ends of the earth. Go to a further country. Go ahead.
Where never mankind dwelt.
Where never mankind dwelt. That's why, what do they call this place? The New World. Where never mankind dwelt. Go ahead.
That they might there keep their statutes.
Keep the commandments.
Which they never kept in their own land.
Which we didn't keep. So we came together and said we're going to go to a further place away from the heathens, away from the Gentiles, away from those that are not God's people, to a land where never mankind dwelt. Read.
And and they entered into the Euphrates.
So now the Lord even gives you the exact passageway on how we made it here. Come on.
By the narrow passages of the river.
Go ahead.
For the Most High then showed signs for them, and held still the flood,
Go ahead.
till they were passed over.
Read on.
For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half.
Go ahead.
And the same region is called Arsareth.
Arsareth is also America. It's America. When you read the Jewish Encyclopedia. Go ahead. Or Arsareth means newfound land. Go ahead.
Then dwelt they there until the latter time.
Then dwelt they there until the latter time. Watch this.
And now, when they shall begin to come.
So, hold up. Let's deal with that. Verse 46 again.
Verse 46.
Go ahead.
Then dwelt they there until the latter time.
So, hold that. Go to Genesis. Go to Genesis 49. They dwelt they there until the latter time. Genesis 49:19.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49, and verse 18.
Bring it out.
19. Gad.
Gad.
A troop shall overcome him.
So one of the prophecies that was going to happen to Gad in the latter times was that a troop would overcome them. What is that talking about? Andrew Jackson. Talking about the cavalry, the troop. Andrew Jackson overcame the so-called Native American Indians in that noon-found land. When? In the latter time. Read on.
But he shall overcome at the last.
But guess what the Lord say? He is going to overcome at the last. Now go back to 2 Ezra 13 and verse 46.
That's a cold precept.
And read that again.
The book of 2 Ezra, chapter 13 and verse 46.
Watch this.
Then dwelt they there until the latter time.
Until the latter time.
And now, when they shall begin to come.
Who are the they? The they is talking about Judah. When they shall begin to come. It's prophecy that Judah would come to where Gad is. To where Northern Kingdom is. And where was Judah brought to? America.
Bring it out.
Letting you know that the people in America before Judah got here are who? The Northern Kingdom of Israel. We are the same people. You are from the tribe of Gad. You so-called Native American Indians, you are the Israelites.
That's right.
You so-called Hispanics, you are the Israelites.
Right.
And this is how time to wake out of sleep.
Right.
Because it's prophecy that Judah will be brought to where you are. Now watch, go to Genesis. Go back to Genesis 49. And I want you to read Judah, verse 8. Watch this. Then we're going to jump into it.
The book of Genesis, chapter 49 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
Bring it out.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
So the prophecy is that Judah, the tribe of Judah, the so-called American blacks, would be what? Read it again.
Judah, thou art he whom thy brethren shall praise.
The prophecy is that all the other tribes would praise Judah. Meaning what? They will look to Judah for fashion. They'll look to Judah for genres. They'll look to Judah for culture. And also, they'll look to Judah for revolution. Everything. They'll look to Judah for everything. Watch this. Read on.
Thy hand shall be in the neck of thine enemies.
Judah's hand will be in the neck of their enemies. That means Judah will be in the midst of the so-called white man. Their enemies. Read on.
Thy father's children shall bow down before thee.
Thy father's children shall bow down before him.
Judah is a lion's whelp.
Judah is a lion's whelp. Hold that. Go back to, I know we jumping. Go back to Deuteronomy. Go back to Deuteronomy. Yep.
Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 7.
Watch this.
And this is the blessing of Judah.
This is the blessing of Judah.
And he said, Hear, Lord.
Hear, Lord.
The voice of Judah.
Watch this.
And bring him unto his people.
Did not we just read that in 2 Ezra? That Judah will be brought to where who at? Northern Kingdom's at. We just read that. Read it again.
And this is the blessing of Judah. And he said, Hear, Lord, the voice of Judah.
Come on.
And bring him unto his people.
Bring him to his people. the so-called, what they call, they say we African. The Africans of the West Coast that was a part of the transatlantic slave trade, the majority of them wasn't sent to China. The majority of them wasn't sent to Japan. The majority of them wasn't sent to Russia or even sent to Israel. The majority of them was sent where? To America. Arcereth. Bring him to his people. Prophecy being fulfilled. So to understand the AIM movement, you got to understand Judah's movement. You got to understand the civil rights movement. You got to understand the Black Panther movement in order to understand AIM. So let's put that first video up. I know I did a lot of jumping, y'all. Put that first video up.
In October 1966, Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton, a pair of students in Oakland, galvanized by Malcolm X's philosophy of black self-determination, launched the Black Panther Party for self-defense. Their goal was to protect their community from racism and violence.
So stop. Like I said, in order to understand AIM, you got to understand the Black Panther Party. They formed a group to stop what? Police brutality amongst black people. Keep going.
Meant protecting it from the police.
When we first started, we had a police alert patrol, and we would patrol the community. If we saw the police brutalizing anyone, we would put an end to this. Usually the police wouldn't brutalize anyone if we were on hand.
Did the Panthers embrace a willingness to use arms to defend themselves? Absolutely. Unfortunately, that's usually the only part of the story that we get. Even more energy was expended in social programs.
You see, they won't tell you this. Pause it. They won't tell you that the Black Panther Party, they was activists for their people. They set up programs to where they fed the people, health programs, clothing programs, which actually prompted America, the government, to now set up health programs for poor black folk.
And Captain, crazy. The whole WIC, Women, Infants, and Children, that was started by the Black Panthers. The white man then co-opted that, took that after they killed and destroyed the Black Panther Party and was like, it's all right, we'll help you.
Right, you're right about that, Cap. Because I remember I'm from Mississippi. Back when I was young in middle school, they used to have what they call a feeding program every summer, where the kids go to the school and eat, and that had to come from the Black Panther Party.
Yep. You know the white man ain't give us nothing. The white man ain't give us nothing. Go ahead.
Another crazy thing, I saw this on Twitter the other day, is a lot of the Black Panthers, like Bobby Seale and Huey P. Newton, they were
Officer Azadah's talking. Pay attention, man.
Appreciate you, Michael.
You get fired.
Michael was on his dad. That's why I said, that's my dad. A lot of the Black Panthers, they were like college educated. They had like doctorates and stuff. And that's why you see today with Judah, they don't try to champion education for the black man. They champion coonery and buffoonery. They want you to be a rapper and a ball player instead of being educated to help your people.
Damn. Yep. Play on.
Panthers put their revolutionary philosophy into practical action. They developed programs targeted at poor black people. They provided the community with free medical care, including sickle cell screening programs, as well as clothing for the needy. Many believe that the Panthers' free breakfast program for school children helped inspire the USDA's federal rate.
Hey, that's what you just said, Adon. That's what you just said. They was giving out free lunch to poor black folk. And they said it helped inspire the USDA's federal breakfast program.
There we go. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, the white man tried to make it seem like, well, we helping y'all. Come to us.
The hell is this?
Go ahead. Hey, but you know what else you see in these pictures? What y'all see? Bring it out. Come on, man.
I see.
Talk to me now. Talk to me.
I see our beautiful women, our children,
Come on now.
hair.
Come on, man. You in the spirit.
Bring it out.
See, these brothers scared. These brothers scared to say that, man.
Right.
Damn.
Come on now, dog.
Yeah. You see family structure. You see the family structure in order, right? You see the women looking after the children. You see
There you go.
You see the men that have their propers in the house and in the community. And this is a side of the Black Panthers as well as American Indian movement that they're not going to push. They're not going to highlight. Anytime you think of these two movements, what the immediate thing you gonna hear is violence and shootouts and imprisonment, and then that stops the average black person, the average Native American from looking into these revolutionary movements when they were centered around love for their people.
That's right.
Right, you gonna say something? I saw you pick up the mic.
Right. And just like, and it goes back to like having strong men. Back then, when with the Wounded Knee and stuff like that, the leaders were men. Yeah. Now in AIM and all this, now it's the woman that's leading it. There's no strong men, no strong leadership, and that's why it's not working out. You know what I'm saying? Now you're doing these marches with the woman is leading, and there's no solutions. That's why the Judah men, gotta come and show them how to be revolutionary the right way with keeping the commandments of God.
Yep.
Hey, Officer Jaya, to your point, Cap, you mind if I get a scripture?
Go ahead, bro.
Isaiah 3:1. Because what you're saying, all that's biblical. Just like we going into how Esau, the government, the FBI, their whole thing was to infiltrate the Black Panthers, infiltrate the Young Lords, the Brown Berets, the American Indian movement, do COINTELPRO and break us down so that, like you said, the strong black man, the strong Native American man is no longer in the house fighting for his family and fighting for his nation. Go ahead, Isaiah 3:1.
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
For behold, the Lord of hosts, doth take away from Jerusalem and from Judah the stay and the staff.
That's leadership. Go ahead.
The whole stay of bread and the whole stay of water.
Go ahead.
The mighty man and the man of war.
The mighty man. So the mighty man is no longer in the house. Now they did it where they set up welfare. Just like where we had systems in place in order to provide food for the children, in order to help our community. But the white man said, hey, we'll give you all that if you don't have that man in the house. Right. Go ahead.
The mighty man and the man of war, the judge and the prophet.
Because even the precursor to the Black Panther Party was like SNCC. Back then you had the Christian church, they at least would get out and march. They would at least get up and stand up and, take a whooping from the police. These modern pastors like Bishop is bringing out, they've made a covenant with hell to make sure that the people stay down. So now there is no mighty man. Jump to verse, what was that, 5? Mm-hmm. Or no, we're the verse 12. You have the women.
Verse 12, Isaiah 3 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
As for my people, children are their oppressors.
Because when Cap asked, what do you see? I see kids being kids. Nowadays, you see the kids running around with guns bigger than themselves. Just like we went into an Old Natives Hour about how they over-sexualize our women, and they started at a young age. They make our young men criminals, and they make our daughters thoughts. Go ahead.
Damn.
And women rule over them.
So now no longer do you have on the reservation or in the black family where the man is the one ruling, but the woman is ruling. We've turned into a matriarchal society.
That's why we lacking leadership. We got to bring that leadership back because get Sirach chapter 10 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Like y'all saying, like right here, you can see the kids, beautiful children, our young sisters, natural hair, families, beautiful families. We all united as one. Read that.
The book of Sirach, chapter 10 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
A wise judge will instruct his people.
A wise judge will instruct his people. Read.
And the government of a prudent man,
of a wise man,
is well ordered.
Is well ordered. Look at the order of our people during the 70s.
Bring
and
it out.
Look at it now. Our women are out of order. That leadership has to come back. That leadership is returning under Jesus Christ.
That's right.
That leadership is coming back. Read.
As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers.
So we're changing the dynamic of the structure of our people. All right, we're going to move from what we see today back into this beautiful order of our people, our sisters with the natural hair, our men taking charge instead of the women leading. Because a lot of these groups and organizations that you see today, the women are at the forefront of these organizations. But like the Bible say, women rule over them. Children children are our oppressors. We got to change that because we ain't getting nowhere that way. We got to go back to this.
That's right.
Go ahead, let's play.
This program.
We were not for integration. We were for self-determination. We wanted to have the right to determine ourselves what we wanted.
That's what she said. We were not for integration. We was for what? Self-preservation? Is that what she said? Self-determination. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
A similarity to note on that
Bring it
is
out.
Gad, right? The so-called Native Americans originally came to this land for that purpose, exactly what Judah was trying to do. Get away from the ways of the heathen, to keep God's laws, to govern themselves and stop being oppressed and influenced by the white man. Same mindset. Go ahead.
Opportunity, decent education, access to the full complement of privileges, benefits, and responsibilities of any American.
Not even the FBI was able to stop the spread of the Panthers' ideals, encouraging black people to defend themselves from police brutality and fight for their rights. Decades later, the Black Panthers' legacy...
Next video. It's crazy how they try to join them together with the old Black Panther Party when you can clearly see the difference between the two.
Right. It's all the power.
Yeah, there's other decades later, you got Beyonce and right. Black women dressed like slaughters. That's what we call them in Florida. Call them slaughters.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a new one.
I ain't never heard that.
Never heard slaughter?
No, sir.
Yeah, we call them slaughters back home. You're a slaughter.
Hey, and Cap, you know it's crazy though. That's exactly what they was going against, because they were like, we don't want integration. But once integration came, they kill you, they destroy your image and destroy how you look, and then they co-opt your movement to make money off of it.
Yeah, because look, when you going back, the sisters was pushed to promote their natural hair, to be what's what I'm looking for? To be okay with your skin color.
Right.
Bring it out.
Comfortable in your skin. Sit on the mic. Nobody can hear you.
Support the men leading.
Yeah, they don't have like the low self-esteem that they push, you know what I'm saying, and the imagery of the other nations put on ourselves so we can hate ourselves.
There you go. There you go.
That's how like Bishop go into in Ezekiel 37 about how the flesh came on us. We had an identity. We started to care about ourselves.
Yeah, and when we allow the white man to infiltrate, we lose every sense of identity of who we are. At least the brothers and sisters had an inkling. Right. They understood black is beautiful. Unity. I'm black and I'm proud. Now you say that today, somebody give you a gift of bleach.
Exactly.
Yeah, you might want to use that bleach.
Blonde your hair. Straighten your hair.
Right.
And then be mad when you tell them like, hey, blonde hair is bad for you. Like, you shouldn't dye your hair. It's in the word dye.
I like how you did that.
He's very happy right now.
Getting it in. Play the next one. Pause it. Go back. Can somebody read that?
Yes, sir.
We ain't gonna play the whole thing. We're just gonna play a little bit of it.
Go ahead.
No, you gotta read it.
In August 2017, an official FBI report, put it on the screen, Nate. In August 2017, an official FBI report on the threat of black identity extremists was leaked to the public.
The report identified black identity extremists as a threat to law enforcement. Critics say the report is eerily similar to the FBI's 20th century counterintelligence program.
COINTELPRO was an FBI operation established in the 50s by J. Edgar Hoover to
now,
target...
some may say, oh, that was so long ago. The 50s was not that long ago when you think about it. And now they came out with a whole nother thing, but they don't call it COINTELPRO. It's COINTELPRO by another name. Now it's black identity extremist. Y'all know we on that list? People don't know that. People don't think. See, I'm gonna tell you, people don't think that they on the list. Yeah. They ain't doing nothing. Yeah, they didn't do nothing either. Huey Newton didn't do nothing.
Bring it.
You know what I mean? All these people that were assassinated, they weren't going around killing police officers. All they was doing was standing up for black people. That's it. Fighting for justice will get you killed. Right, fighting up for Israelites. Yeah, it's going to get you killed in this society.
And defame and propaganda push on you to make it seem like you're something you're not.
Bring it out.
All the great white people who stood up, you know what I'm saying, they get honored.
Yeah, they
but
get
when
honored.
we stand up, oh, we're criminals.
But you know what's crazy? I can't even name a great white man that stood up for white people.
That's a fact.
Bring it out.
What great white man stood up for white people? Because why? They already on top.
Damn.
They already up. You ain't got to stand up. They was born standing up.
Damn, born walking.
They was born walking.
Running.
Everything already set in line for them.
They don't tell you about the ones that came out the cave?
Nah, they'll tell you about that. They don't tell you about the Renaissance.
Bring it out.
They teach that the Renaissance is something totally different. They teach that the Dark Ages was about rats. That's what they say. It was about rats, but it was about us. That's why they named it the Dark Ages, because black people ruled.
Right.
That's right.
That's the whole thing.
Cap, you know, you go to the reservation and when they tell them Christ is black, they want to kill you.
Yeah. They don't like that. They don't like hearing Christ is black. Play that.
African Americans who were fighting for justice and equality. He targeted Dr. King, he targeted Malcolm X, and over 80% of the targets of COINTELPRO were members of the Black Panther Party.
At the height of COINTELPRO, activists and community organizers were targeted. These include current Congressional Black Caucus members like John Lewis, Bobby Rush, Emmanuel Cleaver, and Barbara Lee.
The church committee in the mid-70s held hearings and determined that many of the actions and activities of COINTELPRO were really unconstitutional.
What you've described is a series of illegal actions intended squarely to deny First Amendment rights to some Americans. How shall we ensure that it never happen again?
One of the similarities that I see are that it's based on race. You know, COINTELPRO definitely targeted African Americans. Black identity extremists, which Attorney General Jeff Sessions has put out, targets African Americans. When it was brought to our attention, we immediately contacted the FBI director and had a very forthright meeting. I specifically asked him, how do they identify black identity extremists? Who are they? And there was no answer to that. We still don't know who's a black identity extremist.
Hey, hold on one second. It's funny that that's brought up because just like you were saying, Cap, we know that in the time of the Black Panthers, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, we know they wasn't doing nothing wrong. But the propaganda they pushed was like, yo, these are the devils walking on earth. And they do the same thing to us, but black people have like such a short-term memory that they can't see and look like, well, if they did this to them back then, why would these people now who they call black identity extremists or they call them a cult or they call them a hate group, why wouldn't they be doing the same thing to them?
But you got to remember, though, they're not teaching our people about the Black Panther Party being something beneficial. They're not teaching them. Our people don't know. Hell, the majority of people that was marching at the reservation don't know a damn thing about the AIM movement at all.
Right.
They just wear vests that say AIM.
Right.
But what happened? How did it get created? People don't know.
Damn. That's like black people being like, I'm a Christian, but you don't know the Christians.
You don't know,
black.
right? You don't know. You have no clue on how you became a Christian.
Right.
You have no clue that it was beaten into you during the time of slavery. And then when you try to wash them, they think you're trying to kill them.
Completely assimilated.
Yeah, so our people don't know. And they're not teaching this stuff in the schools.
Bring it out.
And what's a black identity extremist anyway, in their definition?
That's why, remember, she asked him, and he couldn't give her a definition. It's the same sister that Bishop always used her video.
Yeah.
She asked, who was on that list? He can't give her an answer. What is a black identity extremist? What does that mean? They can't give an answer.
They do. I saw one recently. I think either Bishop Yawasab or Bishop Nathaniel had brought it out about how they made like a subtle reference to the Israelites, but they didn't want to say it in name. She was just like, I know this group, they're in every major city across the globe. So what makes them this? What's wrong with them? And he was like,
He can't say. He can't say. He's just a spokesperson. He can't say that, yeah, we got moles inside of these schools. We got agents inside of these schools that are just waiting and watching and just waiting for that call. You know, they here. They are here. It is what it is. Play it. Finish it.
A lot of activists around the country are very concerned that we're getting ready to repeat a very sad chapter of our history, where people who are rightfully protesting what they consider to be an injustice in their community, which is their relationship with police officers, are now being targeted and labeled as extremists and are going through periods of surveillance and harassment.
As a community worker, I attended many Black Panther Party functions. I was part of the breakfast program. We registered many people, the African American community and others, to vote. Well, the FBI during COINTELPRO would try to turn members of the Black Panther Party against each other. Agent provocateurs were placed within the party to try to sow dissent.
I was the coordinator of the Illinois chapter of the Black Panther Party. In December 4th, 1969, Fred Hampton and Mark Clark, two members of the Black Panther Party, were murdered. They put an informant, William O'Neill, planted him inside.
For those that don't know, look him up, William O'Neill. He was a plant. He was working for the FBI. He was an agent. For those that have not seen the movie, shame on you. But you should actually look into the real documentary and hear this man speak on just how deep he got into the party. In his role, he became head of security. He became the brother Fred Hampton's personal bodyguard. Well, he said he knew him better than anybody in the party. Damn! And he ended up basically putting the brother to death. He ended up setting him up. Yeah, gave the layout to his house and everything. You know,
that's what they do to our leaders. Like they did the same thing with Thomas Sankara, used his best friend. Patrice Lumumba used his friend.
They did it with Christ.
They did it with Marcus Garvey.
Man.
Yeah, man. Yep, it's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. This white man is very crafty, but this is the only movement that can't be infiltrated. Why? Hold that. Go to Romans. It's the only movement. This the only movement that can't be infiltrated, because you either in or you out. Right. It is what it is. Go to Romans chapter 8, verse 16.
The book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 16.
Go ahead.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit.
The Spirit bear witness with our spirit. Hold that. Ephesians 6. Let's see what that's talking about. Ephesians chapter 6. Is that what I want? Ephesians, where am I? Oh, I'm in doggone Philippians. My bad. I'm about to say it. Don't sound right. Ephesians 6 and 17.
The book of Ephesians.
It said the Spirit bear witness with our spirit. Watch this.
The book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 17.
Let's see what the Spirit is.
And take the helmet of salvation.
Go ahead.
And the sword of the Spirit.
Of the Spirit, which is?
Which is the word of God.
Go back to Romans 8. Go back to Romans 8 and read verse 16 again.
The book of Romans, chapter 8 and verse 16.
Come on.
The Spirit.
The word of God.
Itself.
Come on.
Beareth witness with our spirit.
Bear witness with our spirit.
That we are the children of God.
So if you in here trying to do some evil stuff, you're going to be exposed. You won't ever be able to rise to the top. Like this dude did. He rose to the top, became a personal bodyguard. You won't be able to do it because your spirit don't bear witness with this.
You can't fake it.
You ain't gonna be able to fake it. You can fake it for a year or 2 years, 3 years, but eventually you're gonna be called out of your sin. You gonna be like, nah, this is too much. I gotta get up out of here. You gonna be in that purple seat forever.
There's too much requirements we have for you to just be staying, not
Just
change.
right. Just
it's
not
gonna
change.
stick out.
It's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. It's gonna stick. Why? Because this is the spirit of the Lord. This ain't men's doings. The Black Panther Party was men's doings. We understood why it happened because we are the Israelites, and the Lord put the spirit on these men during that time. But they didn't have the laws of God. They governed themselves based off of their own man-made laws. Just like the Brown Berets, just like the Young Lords, they had their own law book. They had their own laws that they created. And we're going to go over that. We're going to go over the Young Lords. We're going to go over the Brown Berets. We'll go over all of that, how they all were inspired by the Black Panther Party. So keep going. We almost done with this one.
We can mourn today, but if we understood, Fred, that we are dedicated, that his life wasn't given in vain.
The national director of FBI said that the Black Panther Party was the #1 threat to national security.
How?
In this nation.
You're the spirit. How? Can't nobody explain that? How is a bunch of black men with afros that are marching, that are fighting for their black people, how are they a national threat? Think about that. According to statistics, there are more white people in America than black people. That's what they say. So how are they a national threat?
That's just like us. How are we above the KKK?
Right.
We ain't never lynched them.
Never
We got
lynched,
Bibles.
never blew up churches, never blew up whole doggone communities, never did that. All we doing, we on the street, well, some of us a little overweight, we on the street and we just screaming out the Bible.
That's
How the hell are we worse than the KKK? We just reading the book out loud. That's all we doing. That's how you know it's a spiritual thing, man. It's a spiritual thing.
Right, we calling them out for who they are.
Oh, yes, sir. Let me get Zechariah 4 and 6 real quick.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like it's been said, you know, we've been fortunate enough to visit a lot of Native American communities, reservations, and, you know, our people have a warrior spirit. Our people are fed up. And our people, you know, some of them think it's about taking up arms. You know, some people think it's about going to war with the government again. And while we understand the passion behind it, you know, we tired of oppression. That's not going to win. All right, read that.
Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 6. Then he answered and spake unto me, saying, This is the word of the Lord unto Zerubbabel, saying, Not by might.
Not by might, meaning how many guns you have, your reputation, how strong you are. It's not by those things. Go ahead.
Nor by power.
Nor by power. Go ahead.
But by my spirit.
By the spirit, that's the word of God, which Cap just brought out. Because the word of God tells us we are the Israelites. The word of God tells us a black Christ is coming back to put punishments and judgments on those people that's oppressing us on the reservation. Right. That's what's going to get the minds of our people so we can get right. Finish that off.
Saith the Lord of hosts.
Saith God. All praises. I'm done.
Yep. Not by might. Yeah. Not by might, man. Yeah, you're good.
Mark 3:24.
Bring it out.
Because back when you said about, you know, the unity and having, they said Negro unity was the, what did they say, Cap?
It was the you're right, number one threat.
This is why. Mark 3:24.
The book of Mark, chapter 3 and verse 24.
Bring it out.
And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand.
That's what we are. When we're not unified under the Bible, we're not going to stand. So when we start to unify the right way under the laws of God, that means our kingdom will stand. And like what was in Psalm 18 and 7, when we get our kingdom, that's destruction for them. That's why they're scared, because they know when we wake up under the laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High God as Israelites, it's a wrap for them. That's what they're afraid of.
Let me get one more scripture, Psalms 109 and 2, because they're calling us black identity extremists, and they gotta understand the history of a oppressed people is rebellion. It's gonna always be a rebellion because no one wants to be oppressed, and this oppressor is always coming up with ways to try to make us feel comfortably oppressed. Like Donald Trump once said, what? Give them jobs. But read this.
The book of Psalms, chapter 109 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
For the mouth of the wicked.
And we know who the wicked is, read.
And the mouth of the deceitful.
We know who the deceitful is because he deceived the whole world, read.
Are opened against me.
Are open against us. Calling us, one way that they are open against us is through their media. All right? It's through their television. Black identity extremists, which it has no definition, meaning they could come up with any definition to define that term. Read.
And the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue.
With a lying tongue. All they do is lie. Read.
They compass me about also with the words of hatred.
With hatred. We are hated. We have always been hated for nothing. Because we exist. Read.
And fought against me without a cause.
Without a cause. They fighting against us without a cause. They want us to be happy slaves, I guess.
There you go, right there. Just be happy that you're alive, dog.
That you working.
We cattle, or what is it? Chattel slavery. Chattel slaves. Hey, so we're going to move on from that. Hey, go to the next article. Go to the next article and blow it up, and let's read through this really quick.
Yes, sir. The Civil Rights Movement. The Montgomery.
Because remember, we stated in order to understand AIM, you have to understand the Civil Rights Movement. You have to understand the Black Panther movement. You have to understand Judah's oppression to understand Gad's oppression. Because they're one and the same, and one inspired the other. So watch this. Read on.
The Montgomery bus boycott of 1955 is widely recognized as the start of the modern civil rights movement in the United States. With the arrest of Rosa Parks, who refused to give her seat to a white passenger, still, it should be noted that earlier court cases, direct actions, and civil disobedience all led to the development of this movement. And Parks was not the first to refuse giving up her seat on the bus.
So jump down to the next paragraph, the Reverend Martin Luther King.
The Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. emerged as a leader for this movement, although there were many others who haven't been as widely recognized for their contributions, including women and gay men.
Yeah, okay. You know they got to throw that in there. Go ahead.
Bayard Rustin, Fannie Lou Hamer, Ella Baker, and Septima Clark, to name a select few, played instrumental roles in what is considered one of the most effective mass movements in U.S. history. 1 year since the start of the boycott, buses were desegregated following a Supreme Court ruling, and Dr. King quickly becoming a national political figure. He established the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and led multiple nonviolent protests against the moral injustices of segregated society. Dr. King led more than 200,000 supporters of the movement in the 1963 March on Washington, D.C., and led another major protest of the movement in 1965, marching from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama, to pressure Congress to pass the Voting Rights Bill.
So jump down all the way down to right before the Black Panther column, and I want you to read the Voting Rights Act of 1965.
The Voting Rights Act of 1965 prohibited The Voting Rights Act of 1965 prohibited literacy tests, and an amendment in 1970 and 1975 banned literacy tests in all 50 states permanently. Literacy tests, poll taxes, white primaries, and other policies were adopted in the Jim Crow South at the end of Reconstruction as a way to eliminate the African American right to vote. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 made it illegal to discriminate on grounds of race, color, religion, or national origin, adding the banning of discrimination in employment practices. And it was followed up by the Civil Rights Act of 1968, also known as the Fair Housing Act, which prohibited discrimination in housing.
So, we're going to go over a few parties that were developed after the Civil Rights Movement. So, let's start with the Black Panther Party.
Black Panthers. The Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, often called the Black Panther Party, was a political organization founded in 1966 in Oakland, California by Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale. The BPP was rooted in the ideology of black nationalism, socialism, and armed self-defense.
Go ahead.
And the organization based its practices on the logic of separatism, rather than the integration approach taken by other civil rights organizations. The debate is profound and existential, one for many activists and movements who must decide when to operate within the systems that exist and when to challenge the system as a whole and work for transformation. Stokely Carmichael was a BPP leader who led the party to form educational and social programs. In addition to political activity, women also played an important role in the BPP and can be seen in formation in figure 1133.
All right, so jump down to Young Lords. We're gonna go over these extensively for another time. Jump down to Young Lords. You're gonna go to Brown Berets. Now I just want you to look at the picture. Go down to Brown Berets. Go down. I want you to examine that picture right there, right?
Let's go down.
Are y'all looking at what y'all doing?
No, down the other way. Look at the picture. Right there. Stop.
Good God Almighty. Just look at that attire, right? Now I want you to read American Indian Movement. I want y'all to keep that attire in your mind right there. Now go down to American Indian Movement. Yes.
American Indian Movement. During the 1960s, Native American communities were dealing with many of the same issues as communities of color in the United States.
Many of the same issues as who? Judah. Go ahead.
The U.S. government embraced an urban relocation model.
Urban relocation. Watch this.
That forced Native Americans off of reservations and traditional lands into low-income jobs and neighborhoods in cities and urban areas.
That's why I be saying a lot of y'all think y'all are the tribes, but you actually Gad. A lot of y'all. I ain't saying y'all a pig. Don's Reuben.
Right.
But I'm just saying. Yeah.
Hey, so just real quick on that, and even that, right, separating Gad from the reservation and the cities, that created a lot of rift because a lot of the brothers from the reservation kind of look like the ones that moved to the city abandoned the cause, abandoned the struggle. So that there you have the division again.
Yep. Read on.
Where we at?
The U.S. government. Yep. Read the U.S. government again.
The U.S. government embraced an urban relocation model that forced Native Americans off of reservations and traditional lands into low-income jobs and neighborhoods in cities and urban areas. Although the government promised jobs, housing, and health care, these were few and far between. The mixture of many tribal groups in large cities led to the embracing of a pan-Indian identity united by shared experiences of settler colonialism, genocide, and displacement. This included dealing with tensions between urban Native communities and those living on reservations.
That's like you just said, Jonah. Just started what? Division between those that were in communities in the urban cities and those that were still on the reservation. Go ahead.
The highest unemployment rates of any racial and ethnic group.
The highest unemployment rates of any tribe in America. Go ahead.
And disparate rates of child abductions and children being taken into foster care and adopted by non-native families.
Not white people.
The pan-Indian community acted as a support system and buffer against racism and poverty and fostered resilience. Today, there's a backlash against the pan-Indian identity because it erases cultural specificity and traditional tribal knowledge.
Go ahead.
The American Indian Movement was formed in Minneapolis in 1968 before expanding to other chapters around the country. Some of the key figures in AIM include Russell Means, Dennis Banks, Clyde Belcourt, John Trudell, Leonard Peltier, and Mary Jane Wilson. Roberta Downwind suggested the name AIM which lends itself to graphic interpretation in form of arrows and targets, signaling the legacy and importance of resistance. One major difference between AIM and other civil rights movements was that their focus was less on integration with dominant society and more on maintaining cultural integrity, the enforcement of treaty rights, and empowering tribal sovereignty. Key issues for AIM included economic independence and opportunity, police brutality and abuse, and culturally relevant healthcare. Women leaders played a key role in speaking up to both anti-Native issues, brutality and abuse, and the issues, but also the unique experiences and perspectives of Native feminists. AIM was involved in many demonstrations, including the occupation of Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay from 1969 to 1971, as well as the long walk from Alcatraz to Washington, D.C.
Right. So I want you, we ain't going to go through the whole thing. I want you to pull up the pictures. The pictures. I posted pictures. I want you to pull those pictures up. All right? Yeah, pull those pictures up. And like I said, I want y'all to look at the attire. I want y'all to look at the attire, the mannerisms.
And make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, IUIC Denver. Make sure you donate to the Booster Club. Boom, right there. Donate to the Booster Club. Help our leadership, the bishops, the deacons, the captain, the officers. Travel the four corners of the earth to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel.
You got him? You ready? Come on, pull them up. We're just going to go through one by one.
Good job.
So this is one of the leaders of AIM. I want y'all to look at the attire, all right? Look at what he has on his head. Go to the next one. I want you to blow that up. This is the Black Panther Party. Don't that look familiar? That looks similar. Go to the next one.
I see, yeah.
You didn't know where I was going. Yeah. Now I want y'all to see this, right? These are brothers and sisters from the AIM movement. They like to throw that fist up in the air.
I wonder where that came
I
from.
don't know where that came from. Go to the next picture. Go to the next picture. Damn. Interesting.
It's almost like we're the same people.
Damn. Ain't that about or something? They Black Panther Party throwing that fist up in the air. Go to the next picture. Damn. They throwing that fist up in there again. Go to the next picture. I want you to look what this sister got on her head. Go to the next picture. What did our brothers wore on the top of their heads? Why am I bringing this out? Get Jeremiah 50:33.
Bring it out.
Jeremiah 50 and 33. The reason, like I said, to understand the AIM movement, you have to understand Judah's movement. You have to understand that. All right? You have to understand that. Judah gave courage to all tribes to stand up against the same white man.
Right.
And like I said, we're gonna go over another time. We're gonna go over the young lords. We're gonna go over brown berets. We're gonna go over these activist groups.
Yeah.
How they all was inspired by Judah's movement. Was given courage to fight against the oppressors by Judah. Read that.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33.
Bring it out.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel.
The children of Israel is the so-called Hispanics and Native Indians. Go ahead.
And the children of Judah.
And the children of Judah
were oppressed together.
Be oppressed together. The same oppression, the same reasoning for fighting is the same. You fighting because you being killed in the street by the police. I'm fighting because I'm being killed in the street by the police. You fight because you being pushed out reservations, lowest income in American history. I'm fighting because I was brought here as a slave.
Damn.
Talk about income. They didn't even give Judah income.
We were the income.
Right. Judah was the income. Judah was the prize. They was the dog. You know, you get a little puppy for Christmas. They gave out little babies for Christmas. On a leash. In a cage. You get a goldfish for your birthday. They gave out babies for birthdays. Right. You might give Mike a little hamster.
That's a hamster?
A little gerbil or something. A little ferret. Rufus.
Damn.
Back then, they gave black people as birthday gifts. Read on. That's called oppression, folks. Read.
The children of Israel and the children of Judah
And the children of Judah
were oppressed together.
we being oppressed together. Southern kingdom, northern kingdom, same oppression.
That's right.
Yeah. Send that to the group.
Bring it out.
You know how to do it? Just save it.
Hey, Cap.
just
And
say-
like you saying, Cap. Like
Bring
you
it
saying,
out.
Cap. A lot of our people really don't ever recognize the connection. I remember it was a sister at the march last week on the reservation, and she had that hat on her head, and we asked her like, where does that come from? And she really didn't have an answer. She went into like fashion and that they sell them and stuff like that. But when it comes to the connection that these the Black Panther Party, the influence that they had on AIM, on young lords, that is not known, that is not taught. You know, so all praises this is coming out today.
And that goes into like Cap and Officer Don were bringing out about how we've forgotten. They definitely don't teach about the Black Panther Party, and they don't teach about AIM. They don't teach about the young lords. So how would we know, especially the younger generation, how would we know that we did the same thing, that one fed off the other to try to assemble ourselves together? We wouldn't know that. That's why today we think we different.
Yep.
Do you want the rest of that, Cap?
Yeah, finish it.
Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast.
All that took them captive held them fast. Watch this.
They refused
refuse. Go ahead.
To let them go.
You know what that means? That means even in the midst of you fighting me, I'm never gonna let you go. You could develop a Black Panther Party. You could develop an AIM movement. You could develop the Young Lords. You could develop the Bound Berets. You could develop Israel United in Christ. No matter what you niggas do, I am not going to let you go. No matter how many times you prove to the world that I'm the devil, I'm not letting you go. No matter how much history you know about me, how many books you bring out, how many videos you expose, I'm never letting you niggas go. Read the last part again.
And they refused to let them go.
They refuse to let us go. They never gonna let us go. That's why Christ got to come and destroy this place.
That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
I was going to say, it's crazy because when you look at the civil rights movement, what they called it, the struggle.
Yeah, the struggle.
When somebody got a hold on you and you fighting to get them off, that's a struggle. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Hey, pull up that picture that Officer Don just sent. This is a real picture, by the way. Damn. Look at this. This is a real picture. That's a real picture. That was Bishop Yawsop. He said, if this don't get you pissed off, something wrong with you. Something wrong with you. This is a black child in a doggone bird cage. And this little white girl is smiling like, hey, look what mommy got me. This is things you got to stand. You got to stand, bro. This is the type of excitement a child gets from a present. Like a toy, an animal, a doll, a stuffed animal. You know what I'm saying? Like that type of excitement is when you give a child something that's not tangible, something that's not living.
Inanimate.
You know?
An inanimate object.
Yes, right. Something that you could just throw away. Something that you can break and get another one in another month.
Hey.
Think about, hold up. Think about that. Think about that. This type of excitement you see from a child with a toy that's about to break it. We know as adults, you give a kid a toy, they happy. Ah! In the back, we be up there saying, all them toys gonna be broke tomorrow. Right. Man. So what we do, we give them cheap toys. Bring it out.
Yes, sir.
They don't know it's cheap.
They sure don't.
They just see 4 wheels and the color and it moves and it makes noise. They happy as hell.
Yeah.
So they happy. They excited. That same excitement, you got to match that with now you giving this child another human being. And this child is looking at that human being as a toy that they can break and it can be replaced. Think about that.
Yeah. And even worse, that same little girl grows up and be your first grade teacher.
Yes.
That's your boss.
That's your boss.
Coworker. And that's how they feel about you.
That's
you
how
just,
they feel.
You nothing.
You are nothing to them. The only thing that's making them smile at you is because legally they can't call you a nigga or a boy. They can't treat you like a toy.
They do that smile
on the front end. I can't stand that. Bro, I can't stand that smile,
fake,
bro.
Corner turn.
Yeah.
Bring it out. They really do that too.
I can't stand that fake smile, bro. What you gonna say? You gonna say something?
I was gonna say these people have not changed. That don't even look like too long ago. These people are still here on the earth, and a lot of brothers and sisters think, well, if I date them, if I marry them, if I have sex with them, maybe they'll change. No, they still have that mindset that I could break you and throw you away. That's why there was one situation just recently where a brother he was dating this white girl. She got drunk. She came home. They got into an argument, and she shot the dude. And because her dad was a cop, they covered it up and was just like, oh, she was cleaning her gun and then went off by accident.
Yeah, that happened a few weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly.
That just happened.
Mm-hmm.
That just happened. She
What?
was
Same
cleaning her
mindset.
gun, and it went off while both of them been drinking, quote unquote. She been cleaning her gun while she's drunk, and it went off and shot him in a spot that killed him on the spot. Damn. Come on, man. And this is the same dude that talk about some black women are filthy.
I'd rather sleep with a dog than sleep with a black woman. That's
And
what
he
said.
did sleep with a dog, and that same dog
Yeah.
turned on him.
He said, I'd rather die than sleep with a black woman. Well, you get what you want.
Yep. Every other word. Yep. Hey, all right, go to the next video. We almost done with this. Go to the next video. Yes, the Native American history, the FBI's war on the American Indian movement. Because remember. What's his dude name? J. Edgar Hoover stated that the black movement is the most dangerous thing. Black unity is the most dangerous thing for the society, right? We hear that and we don't think that he's talking about Hispanics. We don't think that he's talking about Native American. You gotta understand, the same way these white men see black men, the same way they see Hispanic men, the same way they see Native American men, the same way they see black women, they see the Hispanic woman. They see the Native American woman. The white men know that we are the same people. It's us. Because think about it. If they didn't know that, why they try so hard to divide us?
Bring it out.
If they didn't know that we was the one people, why did they spend billions and billions of dollars to make sure that we are all divided? That let you know. That let you know they know who we are. They know we are one people. And that stick is now coming back together. Play that. The video. Yes.
Those are our seats?
You mean these were your seats?
No, that's not what he means.
Now listen up. These are our seats now, and there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. So why don't you and Super Engine there find yourself someplace else to have a powwow?
Okay.
Come on, y'all boys, just sit down so we can...
Native Americans are almost invisible to settlers. Colonialism has essentially erased their existence and culture in the United States, and most white settlers envision Native Americans as some ancient people living far off in the past. If they do acknowledge that they still exist, they either have no knowledge of the sorts of struggles they face on and off the reservation, or somehow justify colonialism by pointing out all the quote-unquote benefits of modernization that white settlers have given them. But Native Americans are very much still living today, on reservations and in cities across the country. They're making themselves heard, revitalizing the culture that white settlers try to destroy, and will continue to gain back all the land and the recognition that these people deserve. Today, we will explore one such movement that was so inspirational to so many indigenous people in the United States and across the world, the American Indian Movement. The organization announced that yes, Native Americans are still here and the problems they face will be addressed. The problems that I will discuss in depth are continuing to this day, as they have been since white Europeans first arrived in the Americas. The American Indian Movement is a continuation of 500 years of struggle, but for the sake of brevity, we will start with how AIM came to be. In 1944, the Pick-Sloan Plan was implemented by the Army Corps of Engineers and the Bureau of Reclamation in order to divert the Missouri River and connected rivers towards arid land that would improve the conditions for farming. The consequence of this diversion was that tribal lands were flooded. People lost their homes, livestock, farmland, and their land that was supposed to be protected by the federal government. The U.S. government displaced 750,000 Native Americans, with only very slim compensations given to each family, and were forcefully bused to cities like Los Angeles, Denver, San Francisco, Chicago, and Minneapolis. This process of dislocation and dispossession is known as termination, rather genocide. Many tribes fought in court to stop this ethnic cleansing, but many laws were already being passed throughout the 1950s to give legal precedent of controlling the Native Americans. Such as in 1953, House Concurrent Resolution 108, which called the immediate termination of the Flathead, Klamath, Menominee, Potawatomi, and Turtle Mountain.
Jump to 3 minutes. So, like they were going into at the same time that Judah was going through the civil rights movement in the 1950s and early 1960s, Gad was having the same issues, but now they're forcing Gad off the reservation into urban centers like Denver, like Minneapolis, like L.A. Jump to 3 minutes. Go. 3 minutes, 40 seconds. Right there.
This movement had its origins in the 1950s with the National Congress of American Indians. The NCAI were also rallying with the government for furthering the spread of American patriotism and anti-communism via their proposed plans for Native American welfare. They also did not promote any form of sovereignty on reservations, as this was seen as being antithetical to gaining government protections. But all this was soon to be subject to change by the organization's youngest members.
Jump to 6 minutes.
In 1961, K through 12 curriculum, all run by the community. These schools were so successful that the Department of Education offered to fund them, but they rejected the proposal. As the We Will Remember Survival School stated in a collective document, if we are to learn the truth about the history of the Lakota since the start of colonization and its results called genocide, we must maintain our independence. To learn the true meaning of Native American sovereignty, we must have full control of what our young peoples are taught.
So just like the Black Panther Party,
the
the AIM movement did the same thing. We want independence from the white man. We want to be able to teach our children, feed our children outside of the U.S. government. Go ahead.
16 survival schools in cities and reservations across the country. AIM also created legal help for parents whose children were incarcerated or who were removed from their homes and placed into white families, which are still issues Native Americans face today. AIM also took more radical actions that were similar to that of the IUIC. In 1970, AIM united Native Americans and Lakotas occupied Mount Rushmore in order to help spread what was stated in the 1868 Treaty of Fort Laramie, and to shout from the mountaintops that this land was stolen. They said that each president of the monument helped commit genocide against their people. Again, activists were forced off the area by state authorities, and the momentum kept building.
Jump to 10 minutes, 23 seconds. Mhm.
On the night of January 14th, police entered Means' cell and placed a gun on the floor and told them to make a run for it. Recounting the incident, Means said, "They wanted to off me during the escape attempt." The FBI was aware of the situation, as their documents show, and of course, did absolutely nothing about it.
So this was a point where Russell Means, they had arrested him for an incident, and so they were gonna the local police were gonna stage an incident where they said that Russell Means ran away and they placed a gun on it, but it was all a part of COINTELPRO, and the FBI knew about this but didn't do anything. Go ahead, play.
Documents show that the conference was under heavy surveillance and had undercover agents attending. On June 9th, 1972, a dam bursted near Rapid City, South Dakota, and flooded the entire town. It took away 1,300 homes, 5,000 vehicles, and 238 lives, 14% of which were Native American. Many Native Americans were displaced. The city received $160 million in disaster relief, which was divided by race and class. As Liberal Democrat mayor of the city, Don Bartlett, put it, "That doesn't mean we just divvied up the money equally all around. The Indian who lost a shack and a few sticks of furniture didn't get as much as somebody who lost a $40,000 house with 25 years of accumulated possessions." Many natives left for the reservations, which made them ineligible for relief, and those that stayed were put into a National Guard camp called Camp Rapid. While white residents were able to stay in gyms and churches, hundreds of Native Americans were forced to stay inside a concentration camp. National Guardsmen kept
So clearly it was not equality. There was not equality in the distribution of funds to help out the brothers and sisters that their houses were destroyed due to water damage. They say while the white counterparts was given the ability to stay in churches and secure buildings and support, they sent the so-called Native Indians to doggone concentration camps.
And that sounds familiar, Cap.
Yeah, absolutely.
That sounds very familiar to emancipation. And then you have slave codes that still create that divide. Jim Crow, you got redlining that make us believe, we free. We got the same opportunities as the common American. But yet, like you said, on the back end, they refuse to let us go. They're going to keep us in this condition.
Yep.
That also happened in Katrina. They did the same thing in Katrina.
Good point. Good point, Yakanan. Good point, Yakanan. Hey, when Yakanan speak, bro, he breaks some wisdom. He hit home runs when he speaks, bro. Every time, bro. It happens in Katrina, Captain. It happens in Katrina, too. And that's it. Then he put the mic down. Like, damn, bro.
Hey, just lean back.
Right. Y'all can all be like, hey, let that butter just sit on that biscuit.
Slow cook.
Hey, let's get Isaiah 42.
Cause that's a heavy point, bro. They did the same thing in Katrina. They blocked off the highway to get out. They put police officers on the highway to make sure nobody gets out.
They put a lot of people in like stadiums, right?
Yeah. They put them in that
the Superdome.
The Superdome with no running water.
Right.
You got people crapping in buckets, and it was sick, man.
It was a lot of rape allegations and murders. Damn. Read that.
Isaiah 42 and
is that 22?
Yes, sir. The book of Isaiah, chapter 42 and verse 22.
Bring it out.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled.
We are robbed and spoiled. You can see here where what? A lot of our houses got damaged, destroyed. And what did they do with us? They put us on a concentration camp. Right? And then a lot of the money, what was it? $1.some million of funds that was supposed to be used to rebuild the city was given to the white counterparts of the town. Our people are robbed and spoiled. I mean, what's a spoiled people? Like, if you go to war with somebody, you just take them for everything. right? You take their
Land.
You take their
name,
culture, weapons, huh?
Their kids.
Oh man, that's heavy. Their nationality, their way of life, and you assimilate them. You kill off all the strong men and women, and then you assimilate everybody else. Read.
But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses.
Holes in prison houses. Concentration camp is a hole, a prison house. Read.
They are for a prey, and none delivereth.
For a prey. We're being preyed on. Look at this. Preyed on. When we try to stand up and rise up against oppression, then look what they do to us. Kill us. Read.
And none delivereth. For a spoil, and none saith restore.
None say restore them. Kill them all if we can. Now, what you call, what's that word when you genocide? Exterminate.
Yep.
That's what they want to do.
They finished that video?
Jump to 13 minutes. Because the next part that's brought out is the actual Wounded Knee and what happened and why the FBI wanted to get rid of AIM, especially when they were dealing with Pine Ridge. Go ahead.
The committee agreed to meet to discuss with AIM members, but this only happened occasionally. AIM hit the streets, demonstrating for several nights, which led to riot cops being called in, and of course, they attacked and arrested AIM. Even Mayor Bartlett showed up with cops at motels to drive out any AIM members out of town. Wealthy whites in that town would never forget those nights, knowing their claims to land was on a very shaky foundation.
So basically what happened was AIM came in to help the Oglala Sioux fight against, there was a corrupt government. I think the brother's name was like Elliot or something, and he set up this what's called the Goon Squad. And essentially they were running the reservation and being unjust to the people. So the elders of the Lakota were like, yo, maybe bring AIM in here. So it was a situation where you had the Goon Squad and the people running the res versus the AIM members, and it turned into a shootout. Go ahead.
During that same month, the famous occupation of Wounded Knee took place. The occupation was in response to the iron fist of the elected tribal councilman of the Pine Ridge Reservation, Dick Wilson. Wilson was a classic despot, as he was heavily supported by the Bureau of Indian Affairs with a $62,000 grant.
Hey, right there is the point. The Bureau of Indian Affairs is ran by Esau. And so Esau put this man up, and he was an evil ruler. It reminds me of how Bishop's been going into the black elite, and how the white man sets up the black elite to rule over us, but then they rule over us cruelly. They don't really care about us. Go ahead.
Which he mostly gave to his relatives that he employed in the Bureau, to himself, and to his own private army called the Guardians of the Oglala Nation, or Goons for short. He banned any and all political gatherings, including AIM membership on the reservation. In cases where tribal members complained publicly, the Goons would forcefully remove them, but the tribe would not stand for it, and they met at Calico Hall to figure out what to do with the tyrant. They requested the help of Russell Means to negotiate with Dick Wilson, but when he arrived at the meeting spot, he was brutally beaten by the Goons. The Oglala people now had to do something drastic. Elders Glasset Bissonet and Ellen Moves Camp told AIM members how it was mostly the women and elders who stood up to Dick Wilson, and they asked, "Where are our men? Where are our defenders?" With this, Fool's Crow encouraged Russell Means to take warriors to Wounded Knee, the site of the 1890 Wounded Knee massacre by the U.S. 7th Cavalry, and where the Great Sitting Bull was murdered. AIM would occupy a local church there and coordinated it with the press to host a news conference there. Activists were already occupying the area when on the day of the press conference they found the roads blocked by goons, federal marshals, and FBI units. According to Pentagon documents, they brought with them 17 armored personnel carriers, 130,000 rounds of M16 ammunition, 40,000 rounds of M40 high explosives, as well as helicopters and phantom jets on standby. Much more was being sent in by the FBI. All AIM brought with them were a couple of hunting rifles, and one Vietnam veteran brought a Chinese AK-47 with a single clip, but most were unarmed. Many other participants included hundreds of other Native Americans from across the country, black civil rights activists, white leftists, on-the-ground reporters, and news coverage from all around the world, from countries as far as the Soviet Union. All of them would find themselves pinned down by the attacking U.S. forces. AIM shot back, and an ongoing firefight ensued. 2 Native Americans died and 14 wounded. 12 people disappeared, speculated to have been captured and murdered by goons buried somewhere on the reservation. Much of the reason why U.S. forces fired at the church was in part due to goons attempting to kill AIM members, resulting in AIM retaliating, as well as miscommunication issues between the FBI and U.S. Marshals. Overall, 1 million rounds of ammunition were fired into the church over the 71-day occupation. The worst was yet to come. 509
right there, that shows. So the FBI literally went to war against AIM in this situation, all because they were trying to stop the government that the Indian Bureau had set up. And so they were in that church basically to like plan and strategize on how we could help the people. And they were like, nah, we're going to pin them down and kill them, similar to the same way they did in the 1800s at that same place.
And they used their own people to fight against them.
Right.
As usual.
Can I pull out a script real quick, Copper? Give me Psalms 2 real quick. Because this just goes to show. That was COINTELPRO. Let me use these people against each other. Let them fight against each other, and that way they can't be unified. If they fight each other, it makes it easier for me to kill them. Go ahead, read Psalms 2 and 1.
The book of Psalms, chapter 2, verse 1.
Bring it out.
Why do the heathen rage?
The heathen is the FBI. That's J. Edgar Hoover. That's the white man. Go ahead.
And the people imagine a vain thing.
That's our people who get into these government positions or are part of the Black Christian church or who run the reservations. They imagine a vain thing against the people to keep them oppressed. Go ahead.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed.
Because they know at the end of the day, it's all to stop the rise of the Black Messiah. It's to stop the 12 tribes from coming together. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans from unify. Go ahead.
Let us break, saying, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us.
Don't let them be unified. Don't let them be unified as the Black Panthers, as the Young Lords, the Brown Berets, as the American Indian movement, because one day they might pick up that Bible and know that they are the Israelites. Then my reign is over.
Hey, go to Ezekiel 35. We're going to end on this. Go to Ezekiel 35. The point of bringing out the importance of knowing not just the AIM movement, but also the Black Panther Party, is to realize that the same man that we are fighting is God's enemy. So we, as mortal beings, we don't have the power to defeat this man. If we had the power, he would have been defeated many years ago. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago. We have defeated this dude. But what we got to understand is this same man that is oppressing the Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, which are God's people, God has a judgment for him. And if you want to be a part of seeing that judgment happen, it's things that you must do. Yeah. You must keep the commandments of God. Yeah. Come back to your nationality. Realize you are not Lakota. You are not Mexican. You are not Native Indian. You are not Puerto Rican. You are not Cuban. You are not South American. You are the nation of Israel. That's who you are. Start at verse 2.
The book of Ezekiel.
Gotta read quick. I got 2 minutes. Come on.
Yes, sir. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 2.
Come on.
Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir.
Mount Seir is talking about Esau. The biblical nationality of this white man in America and throughout the four corners of the earth, God calls him Esau. Read.
And prophesy against it.
Go ahead.
And say unto it, thus saith the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee.
What did the Lord say?
I am against thee.
So first of all, you got to realize that God is against this same white man that we've been fighting against for hundreds of years. Read.
I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate.
Jump to verse 9.
Verse 9. I will make thee perpetual desolation.
The Lord said, I will make thee perpetual desolations. Go ahead.
And thy city shall not return.
Read.
And ye shall know that I am the Lord.
Go ahead.
Because thou hast said, these two nations.
These two nations.
And these two countries.
Israel and America. Go ahead.
Shall be mine.
Shall be mine.
And we will possess it. Whereas the Lord was there.
Go ahead.
Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord God.
Because that's what they did. They said, we taking America and we taking Israel. That's what the white man did. The so-called Native Indians, the so-called Hispanics, they was already here. The white man came over and said, look, I know it's people here, but we discovered America. And to this day, they still celebrate Christopher Columbus. Read.
Therefore, as I live,
as the Lord live,
saith the Lord God.
Go ahead.
I will even do according to thine anger.
Read.
And according to thine envy.
Come on.
Which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them.
Out of thy what?
Hatred.
The Lord said this white man hate us. This white man hate us. But we still think he love us. All the factual history that shows that he hates our guts, we still want to give this guy maybe a 1% chance that maybe you're different. But the Lord said he hate us. Read.
Which thou hast used out of thy hatred against them.
Read.
And I will make myself known amongst them.
Go ahead.
When I have judged thee.
The Lord said, I'm going to make myself known amongst my children when I judge you. And that's some hip talk for I'm going to beat your ass in front of everybody to make them know that I'm the man. That's some hip talk. Read on.
And I will make myself known amongst them when I have judged thee.
Read.
And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, and that I have heard all thy blasphemies.
The Lord said he heard all your blasphemies, that the Native Americans are not Gad, that the black man is not Judah, that we are 3/5 of a man. The Lord said, I heard all your blasphemies. Come on.
Which thou hast spoken against the mountains of Israel.
Go ahead.
Saying, they are laid desolate. They are given us to consume.
They are what?
They are given us to consume.
They are giving us to consume. Go ahead.
Thus with your mouth ye have boasted against me, and have multiplied your words against me. I have heard them. Thus saith the Lord God.
Come on.
When the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate.
Read.
As thou didst rejoice at the inheritance of the house of Israel.
You rejoice at our inheritance. You rejoice because you took everything that belongs to us. You rejoice to this day like it is yours. You rejoice like that possession belongs to you. Damn. Read.
Because it was desolate, so will I do unto thee.
Come on.
Thou shalt be desolate.
Come on.
O Mount Seir.
Read.
And all Idumea. Even all of it.
Come on.
And they shall know that I am the Lord.
So all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. The Lord say, just how you rejoice over my children, I'm going to rejoice when I destroy you. So you so-called Native American Indians, you are actually from the nation of Israel, from the tribe of Gad. That's who you are.
Right.
And now it's time to come back together with your brothers.
Bring it out.
With Judah, with Benjamin, with Levi. It's time to join back together because we are all fighting the same enemy.
Yeah.
We are all fighting the same fight. And that fight is to get out of oppression. But we must do it under the laws of God and the keeping of his commandments. All right? You going to say something? You had your mic on. Okay. Hesediah?
If you want to join the fight, we got a school near you.
Go ahead, bro.
If you want to join the fight, we got a school near you, 9034 East Easter Place here in Colorado. You can also visit IsraelUnite.org. Find a school near you. Make sure you donate. Donate to the Booster Club. All right? Help send our leadership around the world to wake up the 12 tribes of Israel so we can go home, okay? Back to you, Captain.
All right, y'all. Praise to the Most High. I want to give a shout out to the AV team. Shout out to Boaz.
Yeah.
Nate.
Yeah.
We got Lil Micah on the ones and twos.
Yeah.
We got Soldier and the Buff on the cameras.
Yeah.
All praises. We're going to get it right, man. You know,
Bring
we
it
late, but we're going to get it right. We got sisters came out, brothers came out. All praise to the Most High. Tune in next week, Lord's will. All right. Next week we'll have another show going over. We don't even decide what we're going to
Right.
till like 2 days before the show. It'd be the Sabbath. Be like, hey, what we doing tomorrow?
Let the spirit come down
the
like a
spirit
dove on
come
you,
down,
Cap.
bro. All right. Hey, so I'm praising the Most High. I'm Captain Gad. To my right.
Officer Dunn.
To his right.
So do you command.
To my left.
Officer J here.
To his left.
Officer Jonah.
To his left.
Officer Asadai.
And we are the
Natives Hour, home of the 10 tribes.
Shalom.
Wake up! Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Hickory dickory, I know you sick of me, but you a God's enemy. If you live wickedly, don't be an idiot. Follow for trickery, Most High has had enough. Call all the deacons up, and all of the captains, it's time to get active. We never reacted, we swing into action, cause you're running out of time.